Hi, good morning to all of you. It's a great day to talk about such an exciting topic. I hope all of you are safe. I know the pandemic has not been easy for all of us, and coming back to normalcy from this is going to be difficult. But there's been very, very exciting news on technology and how technology actually can help you overcome many of the challenges that you see on a daily basis. And you've seen that how technology has been able to get work from home on a very, very high effectiveness and efficiency. And I hope many of these technologies are going to be here to stay. The opportunities for these technologies are going to be very, very high. And I hope all of you take cognizance of it and look at career options which are on these technologies. Today, we're talking about how revolutionizing the world with Internet of Things is a reality. And I'll be talking about that today. Let me get straight into the topic. Very simply put, IoT encompasses everything that is connected to the internet, but it is increasingly used to define objects that talk to each other. And that's a very simple definition. The other definitions of IoT, also known as M2M or machine to machine, refers to an expanding network of interconnected, internet-enabled devices. And that's the definition of Internet of Things. It's about networks, it's about devices, it's about data that comes from devices through these networks. And all these three are the key elements of Internet of Things. And, Internet of Things is not a technology that you go buy from a shop. It's all around you, right? From a simple light bulb in your circle, in your home, okay, which can be connected to the internet. So Internet of Things is all around you, and it's actually revolutionizing your home, the office space, the world around us. The applications of Internet of Things is all around you. It's used in healthcare, it's used in schools, it's used in colleges. It's there on your mobile devices. It's used in logistics. It's used in various enterprise areas. And that is Internet of Things. And it is actually all around you. Let's get into a little bit detail. And let's start with the genesis of Internet of Things. Where did it all start? Early in the days, early 20th century, you used to have iron kettles, irons, washing machines, which used to be mechanical. What happened was, all these mechanical devices started bringing in electronics into it, right? This new technology comes in, and everything became electric. So electric kettles, electric irons, electric washing machines, and electronics started getting into it. So everything started to have smartness in its self. So all devices started becoming smart, or all devices started becoming automated. Same thing is happening today with Internet of Things. Sensors and intelligence to basic objects was discussed throughout 1980s and 1990s. But apart from some early projects, these were very, very expensive on those days. Today, early in the days, those chips were very, very bulky. Sensors were single directional, means you could only have one direction of communication to sensors, and this was the mode of communication. There was no way objects could talk to communicate effectively. What happened? Why did it all change? And what was the emergence of Internet of Things? The world of IoT is driven by miniaturization, the affordability of various components that make up Internet of Things, such as very, very cheap Bluetooth sensors. Sensors have started becoming very, very cheap. It started, growing ubiquity of technologies such as Wi-Fi now makes it possible to connect various devices using very, very simple, off-the-shelf available technologies. That was one of the biggest, changes that came, and that gave the advent of Internet of Things or internet-connected devices. I call it democratization of technology has enabled Internet of Things. Let me explain a little detail. Let's understand what is Internet of Things and why Internet of Things has become so ubiquitous in our daily lives, in making smart homes, smart cities. Why? The basic components of Internet of Things are sensors, wireless communication, compute at the edge of the network means you need to have power of a computer at the edge of a network, right, or at the end of the network. Wide area or wireless communication, like GSM, your mobile devices, right? That ubiquitous cloud technology, big data, and mobile applications. These technologies actually started becoming cheaper and used in a daily life. And all these coming together created what today we call the Internet of Things. It's crazy the number of applications you have Internet of Things. Let me give you an example. I come from office, and my mobile device has Google Map in it. So my map knows that from my office to the home is about 30 minutes. And I have put in a small trigger that if I am 15 minutes away from my home, I want my air conditioner in my house to start automatically. So Google Map tracks the distance I'm traveling, and the moment I am 15 minutes away from my home, there is a trigger that my mobile device sends to a small computer in my house, says, okay, this fellow is to 15 minutes away from home. Now you can switch on the computer. That small compute device, that network inside my house, which gets this information through a mobile device, sends wirelessly the information to a sensor inside the air conditioner saying, switch on. And the air conditioner gets switched on. So 15 minutes later, when I come home, I come into a very cool room, right? This kind of application. And now imagine this kind of application in your refrigerator, in your car, in offices. Mind-boggling number of applications can be thought of using Internet of Things. And you've seen use cases for these in security, in Bluetooth, in toothbrushes to torches. You can have Internet of Things. Let me play a small video for you, which will enable you to understand Internet of Things a little better.
The Internet of Things is changing much about the world we live in, from the way we drive to how we make purchases, and even how we get energy for our homes. Sophisticated sensors and chips are embedded in the physical things that surround us, each transmitting valuable data that lets us better understand how these things work and work together. But how exactly do all these devices share such large quantities of data? And how do we put that information to work? Whether we're improving the production of a factory, giving city residents real-time updates on where to park, or monitoring our personal health, it's the common Internet of Things platform that brings this diverse information together and provides the common language for the devices and apps to communicate with each other. The process starts with the devices themselves, which securely communicate with an Internet of Things platform. This platform integrates the data from many devices and applies analytics to share the most valuable data with applications that address industry-specific needs. Let's start with a simple example, a car. After taking a long road trip, Rebecca notices that her check engine light has come on. She knows that she needs to have her car looked at by a mechanic, but is not sure whether it's something minor or something that needs immediate attention. As it turns out, the sensor that triggered Rebecca's check engine light monitors the pressure in her brake line. This sensor is one of many monitoring processes throughout the car, which are constantly communicating with each other. A component in the car called the diagnostic bus gathers the data from all these sensors, then passes it to a gateway in the car. The gateway integrates and sorts the data from the sensors. This way, only the most relevant diagnostic information will be transmitted to the manufacturer's platform. But before sending this organized data, the car's gateway and platform must first register with each other and confirm a secure communication. The platform is constantly gathering and storing thousands of bits of information from Rebecca's car and hundreds of thousands of cars like hers, building an historical record in a secure database. The manufacturer has added rules and logic to the platform. So when Rebecca's car sends a signal that her brake fluid has dropped below a recommended level, the platform triggers an alert in her car. The manufacturer also uses the platform to create and manage applications that solve specific issues. In this case, the manufacturer can deploy an application on the platform called the Asset Management System. This application oversees all of their customers' cars on the road, as well as all the parts in their warehouses. It uses the data from Rebecca's car to offer her a potential appointment time to service her car, directions to the nearest certified dealer, and a coupon for the service. What's more, the app will ensure that Rebecca's brakes are covered under her warranty, that the correct replacement part is ordered, and then sent to the dealership so it is ready when she arrives. But the manufacturer's analysis does not stop there. They have also deployed a continuous engineering application that tracks not only Rebecca's car, but hundreds of thousands of others, looking for ways to improve the design and manufacturing process of the car itself. If the same problem in her brake line crops up in a critical number of other cars, the manufacturer uses applications custom built for the automobile industry to pinpoint the exact problem. They can see if these cars were made at the same factory, used the same parts, or came off the assembly line on the same day. So what do all these pieces add up to? Streamlined inventory management for the dealer, a better, safer car from the manufacturer. And for Rebecca, it means she can be back on the road faster and get to where she's going safely. All thanks to the Internet of Things.
This is just one of the applications of Internet of Things that you've seen, and many of these applications have huge implications on our daily lives, the businesses around us, from a small, ordering of a cab to buying of a car, to maintenance of a car, to maintenance of all other devices. It has been used, and the applications of Internet of Things has been huge. Now, this essentially means more and more devices are going to use Internet of Things to do predictive analytics of the machines, predictive maintenance of these machines, thus improving the life of those machines and improving the service quality of those products. There is a bigger game here. The real value and insight actually comes from data that these devices provide, and we are just at the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the possibility in terms of data extraction that we can have from various devices, how all these data can come together. It's an extremely exciting time, and how the application of this technology will pan out is unfathomable by humans today. Tomorrow, when you get into the work life, the applications are going to triple, quadruple, and these technologies are going to be used on a daily basis across the world, across your daily lives. Internet of Things is actually revolutionizing every industry, from home appliances to agriculture to space exploration. I'd like to show some trends and opportunities in this domain. Internet of Things is not just an industry, it's not a domain. And most important, today, Internet of Things is just a combination of various technologies, tactics, interconnections that come together to create this huge opportunity. I call it revolutionary, along with being evolutionary. And some of the top strategic IoT applications, IoT trends and technologies through 2023 will be artificial intelligence and its intricacies through IoT, infonomics and data broking, shifting from intelligent edge to intelligent mesh, how the single network is going to create a mesh of networks, which many vendors, many companies will use those mesh together. And that's going to be creating an ecosystem of sorts of services, which is powered by technologies like IoT, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, big data, data science, etc. IoT governance, sensor innovations are also seeing a lot of traction. Social, legal, and ethical IoT is seeing its way through. How do you ensure that there is ethics in how we collect data, how we use data, and how that data is going to create more decisions, better decisions. Of course, other things like user experience, innovations of the chip level and the network level are all seeing a lot of traction. And this becomes a great opportunity for you. Just some of the job roles that you can expect in IoT are data analytics jobs, network and structure for IoT, protection, security, governance of IoT, mobile and web roles in the IoT environment, device and hardware roles, cell and user interface and user experience development, professionals in sensors and actuators, embedded programming, profession in software engineering for applications for the IoT are just some of the roles for Internet of Things. And the salaries that you can expect, and especially for you who are getting into undergraduation right now, that means in the next 2 to 3 to 4 years, the salaries for specialists in IoT are going to skyrocket. On a median, IoT specialist acquire around 76% higher salaries than simple IT professionals in India. And I'm talking about data from India. At the same time, a median salary for an IoT specialist stands at about 15.2 lakhs. Specialists within IT sector get about 8.65. It's double of what an IT professional gets. And secondary research experts get about 7.83 lakhs. This is just to show you a comparison of what salaries an IoT specialist can get vis-a-vis a generalist IT professional or a research associate, which also is seeing a lot of value. Only 33% of IoT specialists have salaries under 6 lakhs in place of 58% within its region. So you can imagine the kind of salaries that IoT professionals, that means that there's a lot of demand for such specialists, and you should look at it. A lot of companies are using IoT right now, from Intel to Samsung to Cisco to Microsoft to SAP. These are all pioneers in IoT, and how these technologies are going to be embedded in a lot of startups and a lot of applications. You will probably not see it on the face of it, but a lot of these technologies are already used in your homes, in the workplaces. Students, that's all I have for IoT. There's a lot of scope for IoT in undergraduation and post-graduation level, and all of you should think about how it, how you think about how you fit into this kind of technology or becoming professional in the IoT area. I'll wait for some questions. If there are, I'll be glad to answer them. In fact, yes, COVID has, COVID has affected the IoT industry. But unlike what you might think, it's actually affected the industry in a positive way. A lot of things which were non-automated today are becoming automated because of the use or how IoT can be applied to these technologies. So there is a lot more automation that is required, and you must have heard everything is getting automated. And anytime you hear automation, that means an application of IoT is going to be there. I'm thinking that COVID probably has accelerated the use of IoT in the industry, and that means there will be no more need for professionals in the IoT space in the coming years to come. I hope I've been able to answer your question, Adya. Ria, thank you for the question. Are there any startups in IoT in India? Huge number of startups. I can't even think of this number of startups in the space of IoT. From simple technologies that are used for, there are technologies, small products, how to clean your car, to how to use a better toothbrush, which has sensors on the bristles, which actually look at, read data inside your mouth, and technologies with, smarter eyewear. There are so many startups in India on IoT. A simple Google search will give you a lot of these startups who are doing a lot of products. In fact, a lot of companies I have also, interacted. Daytonis and other. I think on top of my mind, I can't get the names of it. There are even platforms in India which are IoT based, and a lot of companies are actually using them. Entrepreneurial scope, anything. If you can imagine an automation within your home, within your car, within a washing machine, that's an entrepreneurial idea in the field of IoT. Government is doing a lot. Startup India initiative, Incubation India initiative are doing a lot to promote entrepreneurial route within this field. And I think there is a lot of scope for entrepreneurs in this area. If you can imagine and you can power it by technology, I think you have a product, you have a solution, and that can be marketed in India. And there's, today startups are being promoted a lot in India. I think there's a lot of scope for that, Ria. Pavani, is there job security? Very subjective question, Pavni. There's no job security for anything. And I think COVID has been an answer to that, right? A lot of people have lost their jobs. But let me try to answer this question. If you are looking at a job in the field of IT, anything related to tech, I think you have a better scope. And in tech, not just the basic roles. I think roles which are much more uh, uh, in demand, which is like IoT, artificial intelligence. Then there is job security. Put yourself on the top edge or the cutting edge of technology, and there is very less chances that you will lose a job. I think these are the areas which will always have job security, because the world will need more and more of these professionals. So in that sense, yes, there is job security. I hope I've been able to answer the question, Pavni. Career growth is huge. Median salaries of 15 onwards lakhs, starting salary of 6 lakhs, and median, median is about 3 years. So if you look at the growth path of an IoT professional, within 3 months, you have more than doubled your salary, which means that, and in many other technologies, in the generic IT sector, it's about 9 years when you double your salary, or 7 to 9 years, which is happening in IoT within 3 years. That means the career growth for an IoT professional is much faster. It's twice faster or 3 times faster than a generic IT role. Sana, I hope I've been able to answer that question. And yes, even going into the managerial level or the senior management level, the professional level, entrepreneurship level, there is a lot of scope for this technology. Career growth in this technology. Won't IoT make things easier for hackers? How can we prevent cyber attacks if everything is connected? Very good question, Adya. You're right, absolutely right. The more things are connected to the internet, more you're opening up ports for multiple connections which are not under your control or which are not in a perimeter. That means you are opening up your networks for easy attacks. That is why there is a lot of scope for IoT security. IoT security is a very important area. How do you secure various network protocols? The data that comes from a sensor device into the edge computing, from there to the cloud, from cloud data in motion, data at rest. How do you secure that data? How can you prevent man-in-the-middle attacks with these networks? It's going to be a huge area. There are a lot of tools within cybersecurity. In fact, cybersecurity has a huge area I call IoT security. It's a vast field, and professionals in that are also growing. And there is a lot of scope for that as well. Thank you, Adya, for that question. Will a diploma course in IoT carry the same weightage as a degree program? If no, how are they different? Somebody has been trying to call me desperately. Just a minute, please. Yeah, I'm so sorry about that. Sana, let me forget IoT. There is a big difference in diploma and degree program, definitely. Degree gives you a lot more depth in the knowledge in the education sector, in the education in any area. For example, diploma will give you part of that. A degree is a lot more in terms of the learning ability, the job employability ability. There's a lot more that you learn in a degree. A degree makes you a professional, which you can easily adapt yourself into various areas, and how you can adapt yourself into the changing markets. A diploma is probably an area, a very focused area of any topic. From employability to knowledge to skill, a degree is always preferred to a diploma. I hope I've been able to answer, Sana. Karthik, which has more scope, cloud technology or IoT? Again, very subjective, Karthik. IoT is a combination of a lot of technologies. Cloud technology is also part of IoT. In fact, the data that comes from the edge computing and from devices, it is all being dumped into a cloud mode, which and then the data gets churned in the cloud. So all the data is in cloud. So cloud also has an application within IoT. It depends on what part of cloud your scope is higher. There is scope for cloud as well as IoT. Dhruv, fresher salary level can start anywhere from 3 to 4 lakhs onwards. I've seen IoT students who are freshers in IoT getting salaries of 12 lakhs and 15 lakhs. I've seen IoT freshers getting salaries from 3-4 lakhs onwards. What would a short-term certification suffice for jobs in IoT? Dilemma, that's a dilemma to answer. A short-term certification, exactly the conundrum I gave you about diploma and degree. Short-term certification gives you one part of a little knowledge on a particular area of IoT, whereas a degree program in IoT gives you a larger perspective, what goes behind it, the electricals, electronics, actuators, sensors, devices. A short-term certification will not give you all that. If you're already a professional, if you're already an electrical electronics engineer or an IT engineer, then a short-term certification can add value to your knowledge and skill, and thus give you a better chance to get into the IoT field. Will the scope of IoT be same in today as in 5 years? If no, how can our degree make us industry ready? Sana, I feel that in 5 years, the application of IoT is going to triple, maybe even 4 times, right? Today, ask yourself, is your home completely smart, right? Can you, like I said, I gave you an example of me coming in from office and my air conditioner is already on. My refrigerator automatically sends me a message saying that, you know what, Sujay, you have less milk in your fridge, in your refrigerator. Do you have that technology today? Believe me, in the next 3 years, that's going to be a reality for you in every home. That's going to happen. That means the amount of application of this technology is going to triple 4 times, 5 times in the next 5 years. That means the number of professionals that is needed over the next 5 to 10 years in these fields are going to be huge. And that means there will be scope for IoT jobs in IoT even in the future. In any technology, but let me give you a generic answer also. In any technology, like for example, I did my engineering in generic IT. Does that make me industry ready, or have I become redundant? No. Throughout your job, you keep learning, and any changes in technology that makes you. And just to answer the previous question, a degree program also enables you to adapt to changes in the marketplace. So when you're working, and tomorrow the technology is seeing less thing, it's easy for you to change technologies or change your fields to allied fields, and that will always keep growing. So that's the big difference between degree and any other short-term certification programs, and that will actually make you a professional, a learner for life, a lifelong learner, and that will always keep you ready for industry. Thank you for asking, Sana. Which college offers IoT? There are a lot of colleges which offer programs in IoT, BC and BSc in IoT, BTech in IoT. If you go through iNurture website, you will see a lot of our programs, a lot of IoT programs are being run in a lot of universities, Jain University, Ajinkya Divai Part, a lot of universities who are iNurture partners, we offer this program. There are a lot of other universities also offering programs in IoT. Just a small search will give you that answer. Just go to inurture.co.in and it'll give you that answer. Is coding interlinked with IoT? Yes, coding is interlinked with IoT. A lot of Python, C++, OOPS concepts using C++ is necessary for coding for IoT. Python is used in a lot of data-based applications that you build on top of IoT. A lot of data analytics on Python, and data analytics is a very, very important part of IoT. Thanks, Pavani, for asking. Difference between CSC and IoT. CSC refers to computer science engineering, Sachin Shah. That's generic information technology. IoT is very specific, though IoT comes under computer science. IoT is a specialization. CSE is a generic program. I hope I'm able to answer the question, Sachin. Karthik wants to know what is a major role of IoT in gaming and what kind of games can be made through IoT. Fantastic. If you look at any game which requires a combination of multiple things. So, for example, you have a PS4 device and you have a fishing device, and all these are being used using sensor networks. That's one thing. Using AR, VR, and application of IoT, there are a lot of games being developed. If you do a simple search on gaming and what innovations are being done in gaming, you will see a lot of applications of IoT are there in gaming. A lot of games are now being developed using sensor networks which give back data. So sensors are reading your movements, your hand movements, your eye movements, and a lot of these movements and and even your recognition of voice, everything are being captured by sensors, which go back and create decisions and come back to you as answers for that. So this application of IoT in gaming is going to be huge, and it's already happening. I guess that's all in terms of questions. Thank you so much, and it's been great, talking to all of you. We'll come back with more and more, of these sessions. I hope it's been enjoyable for you. Thank you so much.